YouTube found a community, Beach Boys fans, random people on the internet. My name is Giggens, and we're here today to talk about a record I found fairly recently, actually the day before we found out about Brian's passing. The Beach Boys introduced Barbara Ann. This was released in Italy in April of 1966. I have never seen this record before, ever in my entire life, and I was digging through a record store, and this thing was spine out, so I saw the spine, and it shows the Beach Boys in the middle there, and I was like, well, that's definitely not American. So I pulled it out and realized that the cover had that like European sort of, not film, but like, oh, maybe it's a film. Anyways, I pulled it out and I was like, I have never seen this before, ever in my entire life. This was cool. The cover on this thing is just fantastic. Look at that shot of them playing on some TV show with their logo behind them. The cover is so rad. The back cover shows the track listing up here, and then down here, their discography in Italy, which set me down a rabbit hole, and I was like, all right, well, what was their discography in Italy at this point? Believe it or not, from what I could discover, there wasn't much Beach Boys in Italy at this point. There was the Surfin' USA EP, which came out in 1963, some early singles like The Lonely Sea, back with Dance, 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 and Don't Worry Baby with I Get Around. Moving forward, you had Good Vibrations with Here Today as the B-side. In 1967, funny enough, Little Honda was a single with I'm Waiting for the Day on the back. Really weird combination of songs there. And then further into the 60s, Breakaway with Celebrate the News was released in 69, and then Cotton Fields, and on the flip was a Grand Funk Railroad song called Heartbreaker in 1970. So it was a Beach Boys split 7-inch. How punk is that? They also had Barbara Ann with Girl Don't Tell Me as a single, Sloop John B with You're So Good to Me, which the back of this thing is a wonderful resource. But they also mentioned having the Beach Boys Today and Surfin' USA as full LPs that you can pick up. So for anybody in Italy right now or has knowledge about the Beach Boys records in Italy, was this the only Beach Boys compilation released in the 60s in Italy? From what I could find, this might be it. I want to show you guys what the record looks like earlier on in the video here, but it's definitely got that European style capital label, which I've always loved. I think it's so cool having the now playing high fidelity going up sort of off center there, which looks really sharp. And the vinyl itself feels like particularly heavy. It's a little scuffy, it's a little scratchy, but it does have that mono punch. From what I could tell, these might all be mono presentations. They definitely have that immediacy, that tenacity that mono did back in the day. And for being as scratchy as it is, it plays through just fine. There's no skips, but it's definitely a little scuffy. As far as the track selection goes, you do have your common fare on here, like Barbara Ann was a massive single at this time for the guys. Don't Worry Baby, I Get Around. Girl Don't Tell Me, which is kind of an interesting one. In My Room, big hit. But then you get There's No Other Like My Baby, which is kind of a deep cut from the Party album. California Girl, Sloop John B, You're So Good to Me. The Little Girl I Once Knew, again, kind of a deep cut. I mean, deep cut in the sense of like it's not their most well-known single. Let 'Em Run Wild, which is an album cut, and Be True to Your School, the version with the honeys on it. As far as sort of quirks with this record, the version of There's No Other Like My Baby that they use has a much longer intro that's coming from the record itself. So it's got the guys talking and then Mike's like, you know, I can't read, and then it goes into the song, and there's a very abrupt ending, a very abrupt cut at the end. California Girls has a very abrupt cut at the end as well. It's very, vibrant, punchy mono mix. And then right when it gets to like the part where you expect it to just fade out into foreverness, they cut it and you hear the cut, which is very weird. On the bottom of the record, I was translating this on my app on my phone, and it says exactly what I thought it said. So it was like, these, modern equipment can still play mono records on stereophonic equipment, which I love how that was just a worldwide thing at that point. They do also mention Emitex for cleaning your records, which is kind of cool too. So that was definitely a European sort of thing. But just a cool LP, great little hits collection. I want to know more about the Beach Boys in different European countries, and Italy is one of the ones I know very little about when it comes to their releases. If anybody watching this video is from Italy and has some kind of inkling as to what's going on with this record, let me know. Some of the things I found interesting about this release, just like context-wise and the release schedule of the Beach Boys music in those days, is that Sloop John B is on this. And this album came out a month before Pet Sounds did. Sloop John B had been a single. But to have it on this hits collection, as well as Barbara Ann, and to a certain degree, The Little Girl I Once Knew, these three songs were really, really new at this point, particularly Sloop John B. So this might be the first hits collection to have Sloop John B on it, before Pet Sounds was released. Anyways, that's it. My name is Giggens. Thank you so much for watching. This has been the Beach Boys Introduced Barbara Ann from Italy in 1966. Let me know if you've seen this before, or if you have one in your collection. I've never seen it until I picked it up for the first time. I was blown away. I was like, whoa, a Beach Boys album? I don't know. So very, very fun to find. Yeah, very, very cool album. So let me know what your thoughts are on this record in the comments below. We'll chat more about the Beach Boys as always. We always will. We always do. And thanks for watching. Take care of yourselves. See you next time.